Grabbing on my crotch, looking at my watch. It's time for the John and Ant Show.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the John and Ant Show. John here.
This is Ant.
And what a day so far.
Indeed.
Crappy rain, go away. Ruined my hat.
Blew your hat across the street. I tried to get it. Wind blew it away again at the last minute. Almost got hit by a truck. That's okay.
You almost had it.
I almost had it. It was right in my hand. And then I had to go for it again.
I was shocked it blew so far.
I got it. I didn't even realize they had blown your hat away.
What a way to start the day. Just go away. Go away, rain. Just like The Miz. Go away.
Well, at least the rain serves some sort of purpose.
Good
it
point.
provides some sort of, hydration. The Miz provides nothing.
Nothing whatsoever. A Smackdown to cover. Also, some Revis talk, how their Jets are not talking. Taker. And other stuff. Right. We want to save some stuff for tomorrow because I think Carlos is going to be here tomorrow, correct?
Yes, indeed.
So we'll get more baseball with Carlos. What do you want to start off with? SmackDown or
yeah, let's go into the SmackDown spoilers.
Or you want to get into Undertaker first?
Let's do SmackDown.
I think we should get Baby Taker out of the way.
You want to get Baby Taker out of the way?
We'll get Baby Taker out of the way.
Alright.
There is news, which is why CM Punk called himself a god and an icon.
Mm-hmm.
Was to set up Taker.
So I mean that, and I don't even understand that. What, he hurt Undertaker's feelings, and now Undertaker's gonna come back and attack CM Punk?
Yes, and he also called himself Immortal.
Mm-hmm.
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, that I would get. I mean,
when I think Immortal, I think Hulk Hogan.
Right.
Hulkamania is running wild.
I mean, we have to see how CM Punk responds to this loss against John Cena.
That'll be the typical
heel. Well, he's already the generic heel with that last promo he put out there, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how they bait Taker into pursuing CM Punk.
Well, easy.
Or CM Punk pursuing Undertaker.
He's going to do another, generic heel promo.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's going to go out, and since it's old school Raw, I better see Undertaker in that graveyard suit.
It would be nice, but I get a feeling
if I don't see him in that graveyard, it's not called old school then. Don't put the old school name in front of it.
I don't know.
I want to see old attires.
I would like to, also, throwbacks, but I doubt it.
If he's wearing a wig, then we really have a problem. Like he did the first time. I wanted to kill him. What are you doing, Taker? But anyway, this is setting up for Taker. Some believe that he will be back on Raw next week.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think Rock's also going to be there as well.
Right.
Jericho should be back. Also...
Well, I hope this Raw is a bigger deal than the Raw 1000th.
Yeah. I mean, the way they... Even though they pushed it, all of a sudden we started seeing commercials for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I figured maybe it's...
I honestly didn't notice.
Maybe it's 2 or 3 weeks away, but it's next week.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want to push that? You know,
this is the first time I've even heard of it.
This is bad marketing by WWE.
It is. You don't just market one. Well, the one thing they did was, I guess they pushed it especially yesterday. On Monday, because they knew they were going to get some good viewership with Punk and Cena. And then, of course, in the beginning with Vince McMahon, Paul Heyman, / Brock Lesnar, Triple H. But still, if you're going to push something like Old School Raw, you got to do it at least 3 weeks in advance.
I know.
I don't know why they... I don't know if they had a quick commercial for it last week.
I didn't see anything.
But I didn't notice anything.
We both watched. I didn't notice anything.
Yeah, I mean,
that's bad marketing by WWE. Because the last time they did this, that's all they talked about. They showed commercials for it. You're going old school.
The commercial this time was quite strange.
Yeah, with Twisted Sister.
Some guy...
Yeah, it was Twisted Sister. Yeah. That's all it is. Also, Punk wrestled sick on Monday.
Oh, did he?
Pretty impressive.
What did he have?
A lot of people, when they were in the Middle East last week, a lot of people caught the flu bug, and he got it the worst.
All right.
So if he wrestled that match sick with a flu. That's pretty impressive.
When did they go to the Middle East?
I have no idea. I have no idea. So, that's like I said. If Taker shows up, he should be there for this Raw. If not, you're running out of time to set up anything. I like how they throw storylines together. Like Sheamus and Wade Barrett.
Oh, yeah. Very riveting.
Yeah.
What a riveting storyline.
Because look at his face. He's doing nothing on the screen. He's just in the background.
I wouldn't mind that if it was part of a...
But you know what, Sheamus? At least he's in a movie. What are you doing? Boom!
Making mistakes and leaving the stage too early during segments. That's what he's doing.
We allowed to say jackass on there?
Well, it doesn't matter now.
No. Jackass.
But
anyway, I'm sorry. I mean, how do you screw that up?
No, I don't know. I gotta watch that segment again. It was pretty funny the first time. I'm sure it'll be funny again the second time.
Oh, it most likely will. I think that's it for Undertaker. I mean, hopefully he shows up on Monday.
Yeah. Again, my hope for there being an actual storyline. It doesn't seem like it's going to happen. It does seem like it's going to be the generic heel is demanding respect, and the only way to get it is for Undertaker to show up and challenge him to WrestleMania, or he challenges Undertaker. It doesn't matter, vice versa. But the storyline's going to suck because they're just pulling it out of nowhere.
I know.
They're just giving Undertaker an opponent. It happens to be a big one.
Undertaker will win.
Yeah. And, yeah, I mean, even if you have the title at this point.
Doesn't matter.
If you had the title at this point, it doesn't matter. Because what? Taker just shows up and he gets a title match?
I know.
You know, people complain about The Rock. And, yeah, Taker's okay, you know?
Yeah.
At least The Rock is in decent shape.
Good point. Oh, well, decent shape, you mean
decent shape in terms of, you know, visual. Visually,
yeah, no, you're
he
right.
looks like he's in decent shape. But obviously his cardio isn't as good as it used to be. And it's funny because Undertaker seems to be the other way around. Because from what I've heard, he worked really well in that house show.
Yeah.
But physically he looks terrible.
Oof.
Which is why I'm saying, you know, instead of having him, you know, break his back by trying to get back in shape within a few weeks, give him some attire that'll cover up, you know, some of the areas you want to cover up.
Oh boy, yeah, like the chubbiness.
Yeah.
Him eating donuts with Mark Henry and Rey Mysterio. Come on, Taker, you're better than that.
I just hope he's not pregnant, because he really shouldn't be wrestling if he's pregnant. It's a bad idea.
That's horrible. You know, I say he's fat and eating too much. You're just saying he's pregnant.
He looks like it because he's not fat anywhere. It's just that one spot.
He eats too much. What do you want me to tell you?
I don't know.
He's a fatty Taker. Also, during WrestleMania weekend, we have the Hall of Fame,
yes.
correct? And we have an update on the inductors for the Hall of Fame.
Yes. Well, the inductors need to be more exciting than the inductees.
Well, are you ready?
I am.
Okay. Bruno Sammartino? Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Because that makes sense. That's awesome.
This is possible. This ain't true. These are just possible inductors for the Hall of Fame.
They better air that.
Mick Foley, either Terry Funk or Jim Ross.
It will probably be... I would say Jim Ross, because, you know, he actually sounds, you know, like he could put a speech together. Terry Funk, I don't know, but I feel like they'll probably choose Terry Funk over Jim Ross.
I don't know. If I would...
I think they're on better terms with Jim Ross, though, so he might do it. I
think so. Bob Backlund.
Who cares? I'm sure he did. I'm surprised he even has a presenter.
Sergeant Slaughter.
Mm-hmm.
Or... What's the other name?
Well, no. What is the other name?
I told you that before.
I just totally had a brain fart. Oh, Maria Menounos. Very strange.
Out of all people.
It's very strange. Maria Menounos, for you guys who don't remember, was actually in the main event. Main event? What are you talking about, Will? Clearly, the main event of last year's WrestleMania was Maria Menounos and Kelly versus... I'm blanking out here. Was it Tamina Snuka and... No.
I think it was Beth Phoenix.
It was Beth Phoenix and somebody else.
Oh, Eve.
Was it Eve? Okay. It was Eve.
Was it Eve?
Because that's how important the match was. It was Eve. Yeah, Maria Menounos got the pin last year at WrestleMania in that match. Not sure how many people watched it, but...
That's normally everyone's bathroom break.
Right, yeah. No, well, she is easy on the ice. But I don't see why she would induct Bob Backlund.
Well, according to...
Is he that boring that...
They're good friends.
Nobody else wants...
to what this says, so...
Alright.
I just want to see if that's it.
Bob Backlund in the friend...
Yeah, wow, it was right.
In the friend zone.
Ugh!
Bob Backlund in the friend zone with
Bob
Maria
Backlund's
Menounos.
in the friend zone. Oh my god.
Well, he's not exciting. Would you want to go out with that?
No.
He's just... He's
it's
strange.
Bob Backlund.
Bob Backlund.
It's Bob Backlund.
So boring.
Trish Stratus, Lita or Fit Finlay?
It's got to be Lita.
It's got to be Lita.
It's only fitting.
Has to be.
Or, you know what, at this point, I'm just... I don't know, I'm just waiting for Lita to be inducted.
Oh, that'll be next year.
I feel like she actually revolutionized some stuff in the women's division.
It'll be next year, because I think they're running out of people for Hall of Fame.
Yeah, right?
I mean, you still got Randy Savage. British Bulldog. Is British Bulldog in there yet or no?
Davey Boy Smith?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think so. Maybe he is. I don't know.
Randy Savage. You have all these people, yet you still don't want to induct them. Owen Hart's reasoning because of his wife.
Randy Savage, we don't...
His brother.
It's his brother?
Yes.
Okay.
And...
Well, so they wanted to put Randy Savage in,
Yes.
but his brother doesn't want him in. Okay.
And Hulk Hogan wants to induct him.
Okay.
How's that going to happen?
At this point, it's not. But it could happen sometime in the future.
Oh, of course.
Maybe when Vince dies.
Ouch.
No, I'm telling you, because if Vince wanted them in the Hall of Fame, I figure he would have let it happen already.
Oh, he should, though. I mean, even Owen Hart
In terms of,
that.
well, no, and also, I guess it's not up to Vince, because Vince would induct his worst enemy into the Hall of Fame. It's the family members who are standing in the way of that right now.
That's
And this isn't me pinning the blame on them, because you know what? Again, I'm not in their situation. I don't know what they know about the company that we don't. So, you know, I just give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they know something we don't. They know that they were treated a certain way, that they didn't respect them when they were alive. Why should they gain any money from, you know, their name, or from their character?
I got you.
So.
Next is Donald Trump, his daughter. I think it should be Vince, though.
I don't know if Vince has ever inducted someone himself, though.
He did.
Has he?
Austin.
He inducted Stone Cold Steve Austin?
I believe so.
Alright. Well, I don't know if he'd induct Donald Trump, though.
It makes sense.
It does, especially after the Battle of the Billionaires thing.
Who else could you get? Bobby Lashley?
Oh, wait.
Oh, wait a minute.
Bobby Lashley.
Oh, you're a douchebag.
No, it was not on purpose. Bobby Lashley.
How would that go?
Just something on the mic. Just something about Bobby Lashley on the mic that bothers everybody. No, it would either have to be Vince or the other one was Trump's daughter.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's.
Well, it would be nice for it to be Vince.
Oh, definitely, definitely. And that's pretty much it. Daniel Bryan worked on, I think, Saturday Morning Slam.
Okay.
Ziggler versus Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
What are the chances Ziggler loses that?
I would say that he loses. Wow. That's actually a tough one.
Yeah.
It actually is, because Danny Bryan does lose.
I know. So does Ziggler.
Yeah.
And Primo and Epico versus Tensai and Brodus Clay.
Okay. I hear that Tensai has new attire.
Yes, he does.
I'm really excited to see it.
Doing the shovel. Doing the shovel. Gonna do the shovel. Sprinkler. Sprinkler. Doing the sprinkler.
I can't wait to see it.
Oh, also, want to lay this out to Rob. JG gets beat by Mark Henry.
Yeah, and I can already tell how long that match is going to be. JG versus Justin Gabriel versus Mark Henry is not going to be a very long match. If it is, I'll be very surprised.
Yeah.
And this is on main event, you said?
Yep.
And how many matches are listed for main event? 2?
Yep.
It could be a longer match.
Nah.
It could be.
No, because Rob will come here Friday and be, oh, they did something to JG. Well, JG's a jobber.
I can't wait. I'm really excited, actually, for...
At least Titus O'Neil's doing something. Hurrah, hurrah, hurrah.
For main event. For main event. I usually look forward to it, so...
Poor JG's a jobber now. He was getting some wins.
It's weird, though, because he does get wins every now
He
and then.
does, but not when you face Mark Henry. You get eaten by Mark Henry.
Yeah.
That's why he's getting so fat.
That's what he does.
That's what I do! Shut up, Mark Henry. Just shut up. You should go home, too. What are you shaking your head for? You're going to say hair.
Because at least Mark Henry...
got a haircut.
Mark Henry is intimidating.
Mark
At the very least.
Intimidating.
What?
If he's not sexual chocolate next week, I have a problem.
You're gonna have a problem then, because they're not. He's not just gonna go all of a sudden to sexual chocolate.
What? You be the sexual chocolate heel?
Oh my goodness! No more. Can't take it anymore.
What do you mean you can't take it anymore?
Those giant monster fat gimmicks where they come out having a good time and everybody
What,
loves
he makes
them.
fun of Khali? I mean, come on.
I loved that. I loved it.
I hated it.
Mark Henry is a great dancer.
So stupid. So stupid. Off to SmackDown. As spoilers came yesterday.
Yep.
One person's always there live. SmackDown's opens with Del Rio versus Sandow. Sandow cuts a heel promo. Sorry about that. Del Rio gets a win with a cross armbreaker. Yay. I'm interested in Sandow's promo because he cuts good promos. So
Yes, they are always entertaining. Damien Sandow.
Damien Sandow. Give me a minute.
You got it. I wonder how long this match is going to be, because Sandow, like I said before, had a really good showing against... who was it again? I believe it was Sheamus? I think it was Sheamus. And I expected Sandow to job very quickly, but he stuck around for quite a while. I was very impressed. Sandow looked good in the ring, and I expect him to look good again against Alberto Del Rio.
Definitely.
So.
Next we had a backstage segment with Kane and Daniel Bryan arguing. They got a rematch against Darren Young and Titus O'Neil. Hurrah, hurrah, hurrah! Every time I say Titus O'Neil, I'm going to do that now. And you have to do it too.
Alright. You got it.
I'm waiting for it.
Hurrah, 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 hurrah.
There we go. This time Kane will be blindfolded and Bryan will have his arm tied behind his back.
Ah, the old switcheroo.
Next, The Miz go home against Antonio Cesaro in a 2 out of 3 falls match. I haven't seen these matches in a while, to be honest.
Same here. Was the last one CM Punk versus Chris Jericho?
Yes, I believe so.
I don't know. I can't remember the last time we had one of these matches on TV, actually. Not on a pay-per-view. I mean, just on a show. The last one I remember, there was a series, and it wasn't even all on the same night. It was, oh boy, what was it? Booker T versus Chris Benoit for the U.S. title, and they had a best-of-5 series, best-of-7, I think first to 5 won. And they did it across a whole bunch of shows, so...
Actually, I don't think they had a 2 out of 3 falls match.
No, I'm thinking about CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. I'm sorry.
CM Punk. Wait a second.
CM Punk and Daniel Bryan.
No, but Jericho and CM Punk
They had a street fight. That's what it was.
There you go. But also had a great match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Better than Rock and Cena. Ooh, that burns. That burns. Oh, ooh, had to get that in there. Well, it was. I mean.
No, it was absolutely.
I mean, you can't say how Rock and Cena was better. I thought that was.
That's what I'm saying.
Fest.
I thought. I didn't think last year's WrestleMania was so bad.
Except for that match.
I thought the WrestleMania before was terrible.
I know.
With
so
the one
we got
with John Cena and Miz as your main event. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I know. What a joke. What a joke.
And then when the match sucks, and then people have the gall to look surprised. What did you think?
I know.
What did you really expect from this match?
I know. It's for the United States title. Cesaro gets the first fall with the neutralizer. Miz gets the second fall. Oh no. After a lot of counters, Cesaro gets the third fall and retains the title. Sweet. Like it.
You know what must have happened was after Cesaro got the first pin on The Miz,
What happened?
he must have gotten so bored that he fell asleep and The Miz pinned him. Then when he woke up, he says, "Oh gosh, I'm still in the match with The Miz. Let me just end this right now."
Taking a nap in the middle of the ring.
And everyone else taking a nap in the arena
Yeah.
whenever The Miz comes out.
Promo for Fawn. Dang. Go, 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 go. Debuts later tonight.
That's how the theme song has to go. Yeah, he's debuting. Yes. But
bad news. Randy Orton and Sheamus are backstage. Orton versus Big Show is revealed for later tonight. Jim Ross interviews Zeb Coulter and Jack Swagger in the ring. JR talks about his history with Jack Swagger, but Swagger rips on the Sooners. Typical heel.
Wait, Swagger rips on the Sooners,
Yeah.
not Zeb Coulter?
No, Swagger.
Oh,
yeah.
interesting.
Well, I guess he's finally let him talk on the mic for once.
Yeah.
Coulter takes over the interview and talks about the same stuff he's been saying on Raw. Coulter says an English-speaking American will finally be World Heavyweight Champion at WrestleMania. JR and Coulter get into an argument. Swagger knocks JR's cowboy hat off.
The
what?
cowboy hat.
What? The cowboy hat. And backs him against the ropes. Alberto Del Rio comes out to make the save. Del Rio cut a promo on Swagger. And they have the typical generic face and heel stare down. You don't look excited at all.
Yeah, I guess their faces are gonna be up against each other. They're thinking about making out.
Of
They
course.
just keep staring.
Of course.
So.
Darren Young and Titus O'Neil versus Kane. Darren Bryan's up next.
Here we go.
As you know, Kane is blindfolded and Bryan has his arm tied behind his back. Kane and Bryan get into it mid-match, which leads to Titus rolling Bryan up for the win. Bryan ends up slapping Kane after they hugged after the match. Okay, just break them up.
Yeah.
Getting ridiculous.
Get it over with. Just give the primetime players the titles, and let Team Hell No go their separate ways. You know?
Millions of dollars, baby. Millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Backstage interview with Big Show. Show says he's looking to make an impact tonight.
In Impact Wrestling tonight. He's looking to make an Impact Wrestling tonight.
Oh, you're gonna he's looking to make an Impact Wrestling for tonight. What a horrible. That's horrible.
What?
Nothing. Heath Slater's back.
There we go. Yes.
Versus Sin Cara.
And now, okay. You would think that they would give Heath Slater this, seeing as how Sin Cara was injured by Mark Henry. But that is not the case. Sin Cara gets the pin.
Are you depressed?
No, I'm not depressed. I'm not depressed.
Notice the 3MJB. Unless
I don't know who that is.
I know who that is. It's called the Three-Man Jobber Band.
I know who the three-man band is.
Three-Man Jobber Band.
I don't know who that is. It's a completely different team.
No, it's not. It's the same team.
Yeah, you must be talking about the Shield.
This is where it really gets depressing for you. With Heath Slater losing, it goes to Fandango. Is backstage with Matt Striker. Striker can't get his name right, so Fandango is not debuting tonight.
Well, here's the deal. Apparently, Fandango got offended that Matt Striker mispronounced his name.
Damn you, Matt Striker.
Now, I can tell you honestly, like I said, I did study journalism and media studies. You always want to get the pronunciation right. And if you have to ask that person how to pronounce their name, you go do it. You take that opportunity. That's what That's what most sports journalists do when they have to, announce names for the roster. That's what Bob Shepard of the New York Yankees used to do before he announced the names of the team. He would approach the players and ask how they want their name pronounced.
Yep.
This is why Jason Giambi was pronounced Jason Giambi.
Giambi?
That's how he wanted it pronounced. So, in terms of this, I'm guessing in the trailer, the vignette, Fandango is clearly saying his name as Fandango, go. And I'm assuming that Matt Striker said Fandango.
Most likely.
There's a big difference between Fandango and Fandango. And I don't appreciate Matt Striker messing up Fandango's name, and then, by doing that, robbing us of an opportunity to see Fandango's debut.
So blame Matt Striker, everybody.
Matt Striker should be fired.
I've said he should get fired.
He should be future endeavored because of him. I was looking forward all week to seeing Fandango in action. And now I can't because of Matt Striker.
I told you he should get fired. I'm not a fan of Matt Striker. He's annoying he's annoying like I don't mind him like saying the holds and stuff, but he gets annoying on the mic. He's annoying when he calls a match. You want another person to go home?
Every spot. He goes, oh! What are we in high school?
Oh!
So you're saying another person has to go home?
Yeah. Him and Miz should just carry bags together and just go home. Get it right. Get it together, WWE. Next, we get the main event. Randy Orton versus the Big Slow is up next. The Shield comes out and surrounds the ring until Sheamus comes out.
Wait, so they surround the ring while both Show and Orton are in the ring?
Yep.
Does it say anything at all about what Big Show did?
They beat down Orton and Sheamus. Big Show knocks out Roman Reigns. Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins retreat.
Wait. Okay. The Shield comes in, attacks Randy Orton. Sheamus comes in. And I'm assuming at that point Shield is still winning.
Yes.
And then the
beat
Big
down
Show,
Orton and Sheamus. Big Show knocks out Roman Reigns. Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins retreat. Show chokeslams Orton. Sheamus knocks out Show out of the ring with a bro kick.
And I guess Roman Reigns he rolled out of the ring?
Yeah.
Okay, because this
what
makes
is going
sense.
on?
This makes sense. What's the point of that even?
I don't know.
Was that Sheamus' only appearance on that episode of
Yes.
Smack? Oh boy.
I don't get it. And that's your main event?
So Big Show was a face for about what? A second.
A second, he was a face.
And then he went back to being a heel, I guess. I gotta see this.
That's the quickest face and heel turn I've ever saw in my life.
I don't get it.
Except for the finger poke of doom.
Now you said Big Show chokeslammed who?
Big Show chokeslammed Orton. Sheamus knocked Show out of the ring with a bro kick.
Okay, so the last one is probably Sheamus in the ring.
Yes.
Alright. I'm still confused.
I'm still confused as well. I don't get it. Anyway, seems just like it's an awful SmackDown.
Well, again, I wanna keep from saying that because, I'll read a result. It sounds terrible, but then it's not half bad when I watch it. Depends how good the matches are. Depends how good the promos are, and it depends on what SmackDown takes out of the show and what they leave in there. Because as we all know, it's recorded. What? Yes, everyone. SmackDown's not really on Friday. It's on Tuesday. And what's more interesting is that this is apparently the live social media SmackDown.
Yes.
Which is funny because obviously the only thing that's going to be live is the social media networks. SmackDown is not live.
No, of course not.
So it's going to be funny to see if they decide to poll the audience.
The only thing I'm interested in seeing is Jim Ross's interview with Zeb Coulter and Jack Swagger, the opening of Sandow's promo, and The Miz versus Antonio Cesaro. Because the match could be good.
That I look forward to. Actually, I look forward to Miz and Cesaro. I always enjoy seeing Cesaro beat The Miz. It's exciting and funny. And then I do look forward to the gimmick match, the blindfold and arm tied behind your back. I look forward to that. And even the main event, I do want to see how does that make any sense, what the Shield just did? Or what happened to the Shield via the Big Show. I don't get that.
That's... Show was faced for about a second and a half. He gets cheered and then realized, oh crap, can't do this.
Yeah.
Punch a face. So you're a generic heel again. Quickest face and heel turn I've ever seen, so... Wow, so that's SmackDown. It seems okay. If guys want to watch it, be my guest. I'm gonna watch Cesaro and The Miz, Wade Barrett. No, not Wade. Speaking of, Wade Barrett's not even there too.
Is that right? And isn't he the one who apparently Sheamus is getting on his nerves?
Yes.
So what's the deal? Where are you putting Are you putting Sheamus in something with Wade Barrett, or is he going to be in a Shield match?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
This has me like... I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm baffled at... I don't know what to say to it.
I mean, I like I said, I got to see this. This doesn't make any sense reading it. Maybe if I see it, it'll make a little more sense. Because Rob did say once that, and he's right for the most part, where you do read something, it doesn't come off the same way as if you see it. And a lot of times, like I said before, the SmackDown does tend to edit stuff out at some point. Because I do remember a few weeks ago there was the spoilers said that Rock and Punk had a promo. Rock left, Punk said something, Rock came back and brawled with Punk.
Yeah.
Or gave him the rock bottom. We watched that edition of SmackDown, and all we saw was, I believe it ended in a stare down, or Rock leaving. They edited out the part that, where
that
Rock
might have
came
been
back.
dark, though.
Yeah, that was dark. That happened, that was just for the people that were there.
Yes.
Because...
of course, after every show ends, there is something always happens.
No, but the crazy thing is, that part happened in the middle of the episode.
That's interesting.
Right?
That's interesting. Also, here's something that I don't know how to say it. ESPN. Stay away from wrestling. Do me the favor.
Oh, goodness.
Because they said, why should Jack Swagger get a title shot when he got pulled over for a DUI, having weed, and all that kind of stuff? You're not you're a sports show. Stick to sports.
And it shows. It shows.
Stick to sports.
They really genuinely have no idea what they're talking about when they try to refer to wrestling at all.
They have power rankings for ESPN for wrestlers.
I mean, why? Why are you even trying? Because obviously you don't care that much about wrestling. And I understand why, because you're a sports reporting network, and WWE isn't. It's sports entertainment.
Yes.
It's one word, but it is a big difference. And just every time I see ESPN try to cover something involving WWE, it's a disaster. Because they obviously don't pay close enough attention, because they don't look at it. And then when they have to, like for instance, the Chris Benoit situation, when they started looking into it.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
They really don't know. And then, okay, here's another thing I have a gripe with. I finally got around to watching The Wrestler.
Aha.
Featuring Mickey Rourke. Alright? Now, granted, before I watched this, I watched the ESPN 60 special on Scott Hall. Alright? If you haven't seen that, check it out. It's pretty interesting, especially now that Scott Hall is with DDP and Jake Roberts. ESPN 60, Scott Hall. It's on YouTube. The whole thing's on YouTube. In the very beginning of that video, you have a table with a few ESPN commentators. Saying, one of them asks, okay, you know what, I could actually probably just play the video for you, and you can just hear this conversation, because it is the most ridiculous conversation I've ever heard. I watched The Wrestler after hearing this.
Oh, I'll get it up.
And I don't understand why...
I got it.
Okay. I don't understand why they even made the comparison.
No, it was kind of weird.
It's weird because you would think they would be on top of this. They consistently push themselves a worldwide leader in sports. Well, certainly not in sports entertainment. And so this is it. Just listen to this conversation for a second, and I'll tell you what I have a few issues with.
Give me a second.
All right.
Shawn. And if I were to ask you for a quick list of the biggest wrestlers that you know about, who would you put on the list? Hulk Hogan.
Andre the Giant.
In the late 90s, Scott Hall was as big, maybe bigger than any of them. This was a time when wrestling was sex, drugs, and rock and roll, but the business changed. The problem is Scott Hall didn't get that memo. WWE started drug testing. These days, you look around, the biggest addiction in most wrestlers is PlayStation.
There's such a striking similarity to, oh my God, this guy is the living Mickey Rourke character from the movie.
He's the wrestler.
It's life imitating art, imitating life.
It's actually interesting because it's fake, yet this story's real.
Okay.
What?
So many issues within those 37 seconds of a conversation that I have with these people. No, first of all, I'm going to start with what the first guy said. If you could name any wrestlers, who would you name?
From the 90s?
No, he just said wrestlers. You know, the top wrestlers that you know about. And the guy comes out and says Hulk Hogan, another one says Andre the Giant. This guy says, well, Scott Hall in the 90s was bigger than maybe either of them. Now,
Not even close.
It's easy for you to be bigger than Andre the Giant in the late 90s because Andre the Giant's not wrestling.
Yeah, exactly.
All right? But what I think he's saying there is that Scott Hall in the late 90s was bigger than Hulkamania. Look, I loved Razor Ramon. Scott Hall's great. But at no point was he a bigger draw than Hulk Hogan. Ever. That's just a fact. Then he goes in to talk about Mickey Rourke, that Scott Hall is the living Mickey Rourke. When I heard this, and I hadn't seen the wrestler yet,
It's not even close.
and I saw the wrestler, I figured, okay, well, this is going to describe Scott Hall's character. Because the guy said there, this is the real-life wrestler. So as I'm watching the wrestler, I'm waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and trying to understand where, at any point, does this resemble what Scott Hall went through? What, when he had a few drinks or something? That he missed a dinner with his daughter? That was about it.
Yeah.
Those are the only things he has in common, because Scott Hall wasn't trying to be a wrestler when he was past his prime.
I know.
The shape Scott Hall's in, if he were to go out and try to be a wrestler again, okay, then that's somewhat like the movie. But that's not what he's doing. He's just making appearances at like little house shows and anything. And as far as I know, in the wrestler, Mickey Rourke's character seems to not have made it to the big time. I mean, he's still doing.
Yeah.
He's doing CZW. He ends it with ROH and
Ring
all
of
that
Poopy.
stuff. Ring of Poopy. But it's just ridiculous that they even made the comparison. They saw a movie called The Wrestler and said, okay, let's compare it to Scott Hall. And the worst part is, some people believe that. Some people thought, all right, cool.
I didn't get
They know
it.
what they're talking about. They don't know what they're talking about. They really don't.
It was completely. It was a different movie.
By the way,
If you want to say like wrestler wise,
Mhm.
and I hate to say it, but I see like Jerry Lynn,
okay.
like the wrestler. He didn't. I don't understand. Maybe he doesn't do drugs, but he never made it to the big time.
Mhm.
He's noticed how he does small shows now. Maybe I had a quick stint with WWE.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
No,
But ECW was his big.
Mhm.
Then it went from ECW to TNA. Now he's doing house shows.
And I mean, I could be mistaken because I didn't, in the beginning of the movie, you know, you hear these things about him in his prime, and that he's, you see these posters and ads for him, big match. I forget who the opponent was. But then, from the whole movie, all he's doing is
He had
little shows.
He had a quick stint in 2001 through 2002. Then I went to TNA 2002 2007. But that's not really saying much.
It's not at all.
It's just TNA. You went from a big company to a small company, and then all of a sudden you wrestled on independent circuits.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I see the wrestler. No, it's not just me. A lot of people saw it as Jerry Lynn as the wrestler.
Yeah.
Even though he's great talent, but what else are you gonna do? At some point, you have to retire.
Mm-hmm.
And he is how old now? Let's see, 49.
49. Okay, so I would say that's
And you're still
that's give or take around the age that this guy was in the film.
yes,
It's,
even
it's
maybe
pretty
possibly
close.
older. So, you know what? I give him all credit that he's still going, but I think he finally retired. So, I'm kind of happy he finally retired. So, if it's true, because I think his last match was supposed to be at ROH. So,
Okay.
I can tell you, He's got talent, don't get me wrong.
No, this is where I'm evil.
Oh, boy.
Because at the end of The Wrestler, I laughed. I laughed.
You're horrible!
I laughed. I'm sorry. It just... he dove off.
He did the Ram Jam.
He was doing the Ram Jam.
Ram Jam.
His heart was... It seemed like it was failing at that point. And, he wants to go out doing what he can.
Yes.
And he jumps off, screen goes black, and then you hear the song playing. And I expected a funeral scene to come right afterwards. And it didn't. It just went right to the credits. And I guess, okay, it's just... it's basically that type of ending where you decide if he lived or died.
Yes.
I say he died.
I think he died as well.
I say he died. Not only that, he missed the Ram Jam.
He misses the Ram Jam.
And because he's dead in the ring, he gets pinned. Loses the match.
True.
And then at the funeral, the daughter shows up and spits on his coffin.
Oh, God. They're horrible. Horrible.
Okay, alright. Well, I'm sure that didn't happen, but... Well,
this is all Ant-Man, by the way. I have nothing to do with this.
Okay, so look, again, how can I put... Story-wise, it's a sad story. Of course it's a sad story. I just had a strange reaction to the ending. That's all. That's all.
Hey,
I didn't...
It's, you watched it, so...
Yeah, I'm very late in that. Very, very late.
You're very late.
I still have to watch the fight.
I mean, Nigel was still in ROH.
Oh, and I don't know why, but for some reason I thought Triple H and Shawn Michaels were going to have a cameo.
Stop it.
I guess that must have been just, they were backstage for the movie.
Maybe.
I think that was the case. Because something...
Ernest the Cat Miller was there. Somebody call my mom.
And R-Truth.
R-Truth!
R-Truth was there. R-Truth was there.
Shall set you free. But there's a lot of cameos. Even, I think, what's his name is in it too? Steve.
Well, the Smarks... I guess went nuts at this movie because there were a lot of names there that.
Yes.
Well, Steve who?
Steve Off.
He was in the movie.
I think so.
All right.
I believe he was in the crowd.
Okay. All right. It's possible.
In the crowd.
I wouldn't be surprised because the film, I guess, a lot of the film actually took place in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Which was interesting. I didn't think they'd do that, but
That's
pretty
kind of cool.
It is
Kinda
absolutely.
Cool. But I like to see. Like I said, the movie has nothing to do with Scott Hall.
It has nothing to.
And when
when he says that it's art. It's life imitating art, imitating life.
What I think is a bigger joke
it makes no sense.
Is how they compared Razor Ramon to Hulkamania.
And
it's
Andre
not even
the Giant.
close.
It's in a whole different league. It's almost unfair to compare the two.
And the reason
because
why...
I think, like I said, Razor Ramon did have the look.
Yes.
Scott Hall had the look. He could have been big. Who knows how big he could have gotten if he was given the opportunity, because never won a world title. I don't know how he would have drawn as a world champion. I think it would have been alright, though.
I think so.
I think he would have been interesting. If you gave Kevin Nash the opportunity... Now that I think about it, Scott Hall's the only member of the clique that never got the title.
Yep.
The world title. That's too bad, because he was one of the more entertaining ones.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who certainly put him ahead of Kevin Nash.
Oh, definitely.
So
I have this 90's list that I have, and it's just a list of wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
IRS bigger than Razor Ramon?
Nah.
No.
No.
Goldust?
If Goldust was bigger than Razor Ramon, I don't think so. I
thought it was.
It's close. They're both kind of in the same level because he also never won the world title.
But he actually feuded with Taker
And
Razor Ramon.
All right.
So
I would say they're close to the same level.
Billy Gunn.
During the Attitude Era.
Attitude Era, yes.
Yeah, he was.
If you go into the 1992 to 1996 or 95, I'd say Razor Ramon.
Okay.
Mr. Perfect.
That's a tough one.
That is a tough one. I say no.
You say no?
I say Mr. Perfect's way...
I feel like...
he was just perfect.
That one ladder match that
I know.
Razor Ramon took place in really catapulted him in terms of
WrestleMania 10.
Yeah,
Then everyone forgets to add another SummerSlam match. So they've actually had two.
Yeah.
Ladder
They traded
matches.
wins.
Yes.
Razor won the first, Michaels won the second.
Ken Shamrock.
I don't think he was bigger than
Nope.
Razor.
Medusa.
No.
British Bulldog.
Let's see. Certainly at Wembley.
Yeah, that doesn't count. It's
That
one
doesn't
spot.
count. I would say, they're close to the same
It's one
area.
place. Come on, man.
I would say they're both kind of in the same area. I mean,
I think so.
He's another one who, if I'm not mistaken, didn't win the world title.
Owen Hart.
Owen Hart, again, another guy who never won the world title.
Great talent, though.
Absolutely.
Great talent. Great talent.
He made me hate him.
I
He's
know.
one of those heels that he's
You
not
wanna
like
hate.
He's not like the Miz where you hate him because he sucks.
Listen, he multiple-time tag team champion, 2-time Slammy Award winner. He always carried the Slammies around to put in your face. Intercontinental champion, but never won the big one.
And that's a shame too, because he had the talent.
Oh, he did.
He absolutely had the talent.
Randy Savage.
Oh, I would say he's bigger than Scott Hall.
Definitely.
I would say he was bigger
Definitely.
than Scott Hall. I'm not sure about in the 90s. Well, yeah, I would put Scott Hall at. I would put. Who were we just talking
Randy
about?
Savage.
Randy Savage ahead of Scott Hall.
All right, I agree. Ric Flair.
Well, not in my book, but yes.
Okay.
Ric Flair, I'm not a Ric Flair fan. Never was. I don't see the big deal. I've even gone back and seen some of his matches. Again, I still don't see it. But I'm willing enough to say Ric Flair's career was bigger than Scott Hall's. Absolutely.
Sid Vicious.
If he was bigger than Scott Hall.
Remember, at one time he was feuding with Hulk Hogan and
he's Undertaker.
Ultimate Warrior,
he main evented with the
Taker.
Undertaker. Yeah, I would have to put Sid ahead of Scott Hall as well.
Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, I guess so.
At one time, Ultimate Warrior was WWF
Oh,
champion.
he was something else. Yeah.
Main evented against Hulk Hogan.
Mhm.
Feuded with Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't get any bigger than
Now,
that.
what we're trying to do here is take the star and whatever their pinnacle was, compare their top moment.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, nobody comes close to, well,
I mean, Razor.
number one would obviously be Hulk Hogan at the time of Hulkamania.
Yes.
Another one would be Stone Cold Steve Austin at the height of the Attitude Era.
Pretty much.
Right?
But also, remember, they're comparing Scott Hall, Razor Ramon to Hulkamania.
Yeah, and I don't even, that's not even close.
Kane.
If Kane was bigger than Scott Hall,
At the time,
when
he was.
Kane, yeah, he was.
Because he was Isaac Yankem.
And he has had, every now and then, he does make a reappearance in the main event. So I guess I would have to put Kane ahead of him too.
At the current time, I'd say
What,
no.
right now?
No, current, yes now, but back then, no.
Back then at the time?
I think Razor was
No,
much more
yeah,
over
because Kane was just someone for The Undertaker to feud with at the time.
And also, he was, remember, he wasn't Kane, he was Isaac Yankem.
Yes, he was.
DDS. Hulk Hogan. We know that already.
Yeah. And remember, this is 25 Greatest Superstars of the 90s. Okay? If this were, let's say, the 80s, obviously Hulkster would be number one. So,
Lex Luger.
of the 90s, yeah, he had a good run in the 90s.
He had a good run in WCW.
Absolutely.
I mean, he was World Heavyweight Champion at one point.
Yeah.
So,
Razor Ramon at number 10.
we know that.
Razor Ramon at number 10. I get it.
Triple H.
Of the 90s,
I think Razor's got him.
It's funny because
Triple H didn't catapult
until the late 90s.
Yes.
Until the very late 90s.
very late, like 1998.
Yeah.
1997 throughout, because he jobbed Ultimate Warrior.
Uh-huh.
So that's pretty much low. It's a low, puts you a decimal lower
Right.
on
Like
the scale.
Mm-hmm. Like if you were to take, okay, like I said, a few of my comments, I was thinking about, comparing them at the height of their careers, but I do believe that this list for the most part has it right, I guess.
So far.
For the most part, yeah. I mean, if it's just for the 90s, then yeah, Scott Hall is good. He's at a good place right now. But in terms of Triple H, I kind of don't get why he's so high.
I don't know. Yokozuna. I was gonna say SummerSlam there for a second.
He was a big attraction. He was a big deal. Although I don't know, if he was a big deal
Remember,
for that
feuded
one.
with Undertaker,
Yeah.
was the World Heavyweight WWF Champion.
Beat him in an amazing casket match.
That is I love that casket match. And their second one is with Chuck Norris, so.
Yeah. And, and beat Hulk Hogan.
Yes, he did.
At
King of the
pay-per-view
Ring.
main event,
I think he main event in WrestleMania 9.
Yeah.
So.
Twice.
Yeah, I say yes. I think bigger than Razor Ramon.
Yeah.
Diesel.
This I get too. I get it. He was great. I
Yeah.
mean, the way he started off, being a bodyguard for Shawn Michaels, and then going into the main event picture himself, and again, he was a huge guy, in a time where guys weren't that big actually.
Yeah.
I mean, he was huge,
I know.
humongous.
Mick Foley.
In the 90s? I don't know.
I think Razor's got Mick on this one.
Now, this is a tough one.
Because this was Mick
This is a tough
Foley
one.
late 90s. He got really big.
Yeah.
From 1996, 97, he was feuding with The Undertaker.
Mm-hmm.
Which, don't get me wrong, I love those matches. I could watch the Buried Alive match, I could watch the Boiler Room match. Those are good matches. But Mick Foley, he also wrestled HBK at one point. Feuded with Vader at one point.
Okay.
He did a lot.
He had a lot of feuds, but it took him a while to get to main event, right?
Yes.
When did he win the title? Do you remember what year that was?
1998.
98. Okay. So he had time to maybe surpass Razor.
98 or 90. I think it was late 1998
Right.
when Tony Schiavone said the famous words, "Mick Foley has just won their World Heavyweight title. That'll put a lot of butts in the seats." Yeah, as
But I
everyone
guess-
everyone switched the channel to see
But
Mick
I
Foley
guess
win.
it's weird though, because I would say that Mick Foley and Triple H at some point in the 90s were in the place where Scott Hall was earlier in the 90s. Somewhere in the mid-card.
Well, remember, at Triple H...
But I mean, I guess the way this is ranking it is because Triple H and Mankind actually got to win the world title.
Yes.
And I understand that logic too. I really do.
So, I'm uneven on this one, because I don't know who to choose over that.
Okay.
It's in between. The Rock.
Alright.
At Razor's time, Razor has him. Now The Rock has him.
Well, overall, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, again, it's really not close.
So... Shawn Michaels.
Absolutely. I'm surprised even he's
I know.
he's not number one.
That's interesting. The Undertaker.
Well, yeah,
Yes.
that's one person I could put ahead of Shawn Michaels.
Yes.
In the 90s, absolutely.
Bret Hart.
Bret Hart, he's another one that I could put up there, ahead of Shawn Michaels.
I guess our number one is...
It's always the same guy.
The Rattlesnake.
Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like, I gotta wonder about these lists. Like, they sell out a lot. Because you see the list is getting good, but then they'll put... I mean, honestly, when did Stone Cold make his appearance?
1996, King of the Ring.
Alright. Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker were there almost the whole decade. And you're really going to put Stone Cold Steve Austin ahead of him? What, just because he was part of the Attitude Era?
Yeah.
I don't get that. I don't know. I would probably put The Undertaker ahead of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I think so.
Because Undertaker, wherever you put him, he was great. Main event, tag division, anything. He was able to do anything. And again, he was big probably the whole decade.
I would say so. Like I said, the gimmick worked at the time. Also, Bret Hart.
It's just so easy to put.
I know. But also, I'd put HBK in front of Stone Cold.
I would too.
I mean, he had the DX thing going on at that time. He was still...
Absolutely, I would too.
And
that's what I'm saying. These lists, usually, a lot of times, they're promising, but once you get to the
Iron
end,
Man, Hell in a Cell, casket match, I could go on. It's... They're single
again,
match.
I'm not saying that Stone Cold doesn't deserve number one.
I know.
I'm just saying I can see
He's
other
He's
people.
top 5, but everyone puts him as number 1. But like I
Like
said,
WWE. WWE, whenever they put a list, best whatever, let's say best superstar, best finisher, it's always Stone Cold Steve Austin. Alright, so again, it's tough for me to say because there was a moment where I myself didn't get to watch wrestling for a little while there. But again, for the most part, this list is okay. I guess they really. I guess it has a bit of a bias towards the Attitude Era, I would say. Because when would you say the Attitude Era started? Between 97, 98, I guess? I mean, before that, there's 7 years before that. And the Attitude Era, I would say, in terms of the 90s, spanned from, I'll say 97 to 2000. They're pretty much putting more emphasis on the last 4 years of the decade than the first 6 years. Or 7 years.
That's what sucks about making lists.
Yeah. It's tough to compare eras, especially in the 90s where the era changed. You know?
Yeah. You know, I can't... The list is okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like Razor being on there at 10.
But it does make sense. Even this list, I think has it right. Razor wasn't humongous in terms of a draw. And for those two to, and for that guy to say that he was maybe even bigger than Hulk Hogan or Andre the Giant, that's just one of the most idiotic comments I think I've ever seen or heard. And he said it with such confidence too.
I know. Yeah, it's just... Stone Cold's always going to be up there.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how you see it, no matter how it goes.
Yeah.
You know, but I wanted to start this last week, and I think it's a good opportunity to talk about this for a little bit. I'm gonna take the wrestler. Say we'll talk about Ultimate Warrior.
Okay.
And I want to get your thoughts on his success throughout his career,
Uh-huh.
and where it started to downfall.
Where it started to downfall?
Yep.
All right.
Obviously, he started as the Dingo Warrior, as we all know.
Right.
Actually tagged with Sting. Not the Sting we know now.
Not, if it would have been Joker Sting.
Stop it!
If Ultimate Warrior could team up with Joker Sting, it would revitalize his career.
I hate you. Anyway, obviously he main evented against Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
Had a couple of feuds with Andre the Giant. You know, he had the pumping music. He'd run to the ring.
Sprint to the ring.
Sprints to the ring. He'd be out of breath. And it was still kind of cool to see at that point.
It was, especially when the ramp was like really long. It's funny because I did see one clip where he ran to the ring before the match with Hulk Hogan. And I believe it was Jesse Ventura who said, that's not a good idea.
Yeah.
You might want to save your energy for the match.
I remember that.
But he was intense.
Imagine Undertaker in those long rounds.
What I would like to do is WWE 2K14 give the Undertaker Ultimate Warrior's entrance.
You could probably do it. I mean,
And I hope that he still has that it allows you to still have the hat and the trench coat on while he's sprinting to the ring.
But
because I did go on YouTube and saw the Undertaker have Brodus Clay's entrance.
Stop it! We're not talking about that.
And the hat's
We're
not
not
there.
talking about that. Stop it! Stop! Good boy.
Well,
Stop!
Ultimate Warrior.
Okay, there we go.
Ultimate Warrior, phenomenal shape, but obviously we all know why.
Well, I think this is where the downfall started, and where everyone knows that he wanted a lot of money to go out at one run.
Yeah. And sometimes he no-showed.
And he no-showed.
That's
and bad.
You never want that.
That's very, very bad. You're a bad man if you do that.
You're a bad boy.
You're a bad boy. So, Vince did the right thing and fired him.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I think that's kind of ballsy to do. And I would have fired him right there. You know?
Oh, absolutely. Well, no, it's tough, though, because he is a huge attraction.
He is.
He's an absolutely gigantic attraction. And fire him on the spot,
especially when he was supposed to help Hulk Hogan.
Uh-huh.
As if you remember.
Yeah.
So, that was tough, but I wouldn't have paid him.
You wouldn't have paid him. Okay.
You know?
No, I wouldn't have paid him either.
When you're asking for that amount of money, it's like, really? I mean, you do this now? Like, when you're about to go out?
Mm-hmm.
That's you have some cojones to do that, so... But I think also, he took a break. I think 93 to like 96, I think?
Or something like that.
Or something like 94.
And then he made his triumphant return.
Triumphant return in 1996.
At the expense of Triple H. Well, Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Jobbed to him for 10 seconds.
Yes, he no-sold the pedigree.
He got right back
Got
up.
right back up and won the match. It's funny. I love that clip. I love the look on Triple H's face.
But
because you know it's genuine.
It is.
It's not like he's the heel pretending he's surprised. He's generally shocked because he couldn't believe he did that.
I know.
Did it like that.
Also, at that time when they tried to bring the Ultimate Warrior back, I think fans forgot.
About the Ultimate Warrior?
Yeah.
I don't know because
I
do
he didn't
remember
get the same pop. Like he had the same music.
It was still a big pop. It was still a big pop.
But then
I don't know
think
that it was nothing like the pop he got at WrestleMania.
Then I think this was when it started to really go downhill. They did a thing with Jerry Lawler. And Vince is in there and in the ring with him. And Ultimate Warrior shows up. Now, we know Ultimate Warrior. Long hair, likes running into the ring.
Okay.
What does he come out in? He's wearing a baseball hat. A baseball hat. What?
Well, clearly this is what the Ultimate Warrior was always meant to evolve into.
He was wearing a baseball hat. It's just a hat. What are you doing? And Jerry Lawler even said in the interview, like, he gave Vince a look. What's this guy doing? So, I think that's when it started to go downhill quick. But WCW decided, hey, I have an idea. Let's sign the Ultimate Warrior. Well, they signed him.
WCW had the same logic that, well, reminiscent of TNA. You know, no matter what the WWE superstar does to get fired, we want him.
We want him.
And we're going to push him.
Yes.
So, well, we didn't even go into Ultimate Warrior's promos.
Oh, God. Do we have to?
The raging elephants.
The stars above.
Assuming control of the assuming control of, what was it, Hulk Hogan's plane, and then crashing it into the ground. Oh my goodness. Nothing hostile about that, right? It also shows that he's in a clear mind because he's willing to kill himself to take down Hulk Hogan's private jet.
Wow. Let me tell you. His promos were intense, and I've seen a bunch of promos from him, and he's looking up at like everything. He doesn't even look at the camera. He's like at the stars. He has his back turned.
I love the ones that start where he has his back turned.
Then he has the belt in front of his face. I think that's the best one out of all of them. It's just the Intercontinental title, and it's his face behind it. All you see is the Intercontinental title.
I do gotta wonder, how would that character come across today? Would people laugh at it, or would they accept the intensity?
I think we should ask him himself when he's here in New Jersey.
Boy.
You think your character can work now?
Like I would like to see.
I don't know. I don't think so, because we have so many characters now that people tend to forget, and we all know what the Ultimate Warrior is like now. You know,
if I was to take the Ultimate Warrior and put him back, put him in the WWE immediately, right now in his prime, I think he'd hold his own.
Oh, definitely. And his prime, not now.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, but remember, let's get to his WCW thing now.
Yes,
we got a little way off track.
My favorite, clearly the best days of the Ultimate Warrior, where he had the greatest match of all time, of his career.
Probably the worst match of history in WCW.
Ultimate Warrior versus Hollywood Hogan.
Let me tell you how this started, though. There's a bunch of, you had promos, stuff like that for his return. Like, no one knew who it was. So he comes out and does this promo on Hulk Hogan. Promo is going well. He did something you don't do. Yes. He pretty much told him he beat Hulk Hogan already.
Yeah, WCW at this point is trying to make a match between Hogan and Warrior. And what they're trying to do, they're not booking it as a rematch or anything.
Yeah, it's just new.
They're not acknowledging, every bits and pieces. There were times where they did acknowledge the WWF. As far as I remember, they weren't doing that here. But then here comes the Ultimate Warrior, and he basically says that he already beat Hogan at WrestleMania. So there goes, because let me tell you something. There was still a pretty good gap between WrestleMania 7, I believe.
Yes.
6, 7. And his facing Hulk Hogan again in WCW. Because you do have a batch of new fans who haven't seen the WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
You do have those kids who, this is the first time they're going to see these two in the ring. Then he comes out and says he beat him already. on the grandest
What are you
stage of
doing?
them all. And yeah,
You just ruined the match. Like, what's the point of this happening
you ruined the build-up.
You already beat him.
But it's okay. It's okay, John, because the match was so good.
The match was horrible. Did you see the match?
I did see the match.
It was horrible.
I loved every second of it, especially the fireball spot. Flawlessly executed.
Yes, Hulk Hogan. What was supposed to happen was a fireball was supposed to go in Hulk Hogan. Ultimate Warrior's face.
Yes, Hogan was supposed to throw it into his face.
And what happened?
Well, the fire wouldn't turn on. He couldn't get it lit, I think. And then he did a throw. The fire pretty much singed his eyebrows.
Yes.
And then he did this throwing motion. He didn't throw anything at the Warrior, but Warrior sold it anyway. Just one of the best spots in all of wrestling history.
I kind of want to forget that match.
I don't know why you would want to forget it. It was amazing.
It's horrendously bad. Oh, God.
Well, Hogan did win. Not cleanly. He won because of the fireball.
Yes.
It blinded the Ultimate Warrior.
So. And then Warrior announced his retirement the following year.
Yeah.
That was it. He was done. Hogan scored the pinfall, as you said. But, that was pretty much the end of his career after that. He did he disappeared. It happens, but as you see, did he have a good run?
He did.
At one time he did.
At one time he definitely did. It's just a shame that it ended the way it did. But at least it was kind of sort of on his terms.
Yeah.
He decided to retire. He didn't have to retire because of an injury, or
I just want to retire. That's it.
As far as we know, there wasn't any injury that caused him to retire. Yeah, at least he got to hang up his boots when he wanted to, I guess. If he wanted to.
Now here's the big question. Hall of Fame. Yes or no?
Yes. Yes. It's no question.
I say no.
Really? Why is
Here's
that?
the reasons why. Obviously we know Vince and him have not agreed on a couple of things.
Yeah.
And it seems like they don't get along. So this is where I say no to it.
Mm-hmm.
Now maybe Triple H comes in like he did with Bruno, and they settle on something, and it works. That's the only thing how I can see it. If they do that, and that's how you get the Ultimate Warrior. Send Triple H maybe to talk to him, and see if he'll do it. Just like Triple H might have to go talk to Owen Hart's wife or Randy Savage's brother.
See, that would be interesting, because we all know Triple H's relationship with the Clique and Vince McMahon, so it would be interesting to see if he, of all people, would try to approach Owen Hart's wife.
Well, let me tell you got Bruno Sammartino, so...
He did. But, there wasn't any deaths involved there, though. That's a big deal.
No.
But in terms of the Ultimate Warrior, I do believe at some point he will get in the Hall of Fame. I really do believe it.
I think so. It just has to.
Because, Vince McMahon keeps hiring back Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, right.
So, I do think he will at least let Ultimate Warrior into the Hall of Fame. Maybe give him a character model for a video game.
Yeah, he did. He was in All-Stars, the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, that's right. He
hasn't
hasn't appeared in WWE's main game series yet?
I don't think so.
Alright.
I don't think so. I want to talk about another one.
I just gotta say, I don't see how they could have a Hall of Fame and have prestige by having people like Drew Carey on it, but not have Randy Savage and the Ultimate Warrior.
I know. It's sad. It's sad. Another wrestler I want to talk about, Owen Hart.
Mm-hmm.
A lot to talk about.
Forever mid-card.
I know.
That's what it was.
Forever mid-card, but he held his own.
Yeah.
He was able to hold a tag team with Yokozuna.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite tag teams ever. So random.
His matches with his brother, Bret Hart, had two. One at WrestleMania, one in a steel cage.
Yeah.
We both were pretty
steel
good.
Steel cage match, amazing.
It does suck that his life ended the way it did.
Yeah.
I really wish that WWE did give him a WWF title shot.
Do you think he would have gotten it had he lived?
Because of his gimmick, no, at the time.
Yeah, he was going
He
into
was
the
a Blue Blazer.
He was going into Blue Blazer. I wonder how long that would have lasted. That couldn't have lasted more than 2 years.
Yeah.
It couldn't have, because again, the WWE was changing. This was it was getting into the Attitude Era at this point, wasn't it?
Yep.
So I mean, why would you? I really don't know. I almost want to say that he wouldn't have gotten the title picture.
Yes.
Because again, the WWE was just sucking on Stone Cold and The Rock and Triple H and all that stuff.
Well, let me tell
Well,
you.
not even Triple H at the time, but mainly Stone Cold and The Rock.
Let me tell you though, he's a European champion, two-time Intercontinental champion, WWF World Tag Team Champions with Yokozuna, the British Bulldog, and Jeff Jarrett, King of the Ring 1994, and a double Slammy Award winner.
Right now, if that were
4 Squared Circle Shocker,
right,
and the best bow tie.
and now that resume it's great.
It is.
And
It's missing one thing
it's
though.
one thing, the most important thing, which is too bad. WWF champion.
Yes.
And I always do wonder if they would have given him that shot, but I really don't think they would have. I think
know.
he would have been forever mid-card. Maybe he would have gotten a title shot,
It would have been nice to see at one point.
but I don't think he would have won.
That's where I see it. That's where I wanted Bret Hart to be the champion at one point.
And that's what I'm saying. It's not about his talent.
Yeah.
He's talent. He was talented.
He's so
very
talented.
hard work and all that stuff. But again, it's all about the politics backstage.
Yeah. And also, he was in a Nation of Domination, which, he was the Black Heart. And people started calling him a Nugget. And
he responded,
yes,
I'm not a nugget.
I'm a Black Heart, damn it. But I love Owen Hart. And it sucks that he never got...
It's funny because as a kid, like I said, nobody could stand him.
Yeah.
Because when you're a kid, you don't go for the anti-hero unless one is presented to you. And at the time, WWE was clear-cut good guys versus bad guys.
Yep.
Kids, flocked to Bret the Hitman Hart, which means Owen Hart was the one everyone hated.
Yep.
Because he attacked his brother regularly, things like that, and he was just great at what he did.
Also, we had his thing with Stone Cold.
Right.
Where he broke Stone Cold's neck.
Mm-hmm.
Which, botches do happen.
Yeah.
Even
to the best of them.
That's why The Undertaker does his tombstone the way he does.
Yeah.
That's why we don't see many pile drivers anymore.
Yeah.
It
Kane,
started the what do you call it? The I just broke Owen 316 says I just broke your neck. Kind of funny, but
well, as long as you know he's going to be okay.
Yeah, of course.
You could
could do that. So
because I mean, for goodness sakes, the WWE actually really doesn't care if you're okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Eddie Guerrero died, and then they turned that into a storyline.
Yes, they did.
So obviously, if they're going to do that, they're going to have no problem with the I just broke your neck or whatever. But again, you're right about the pile driver. That probably was the moment where they decided to not outlaw it, but because the only ones, like I said, who have been doing it for the past few years have been Kane and the Undertaker.
Yep, that's it.
And Kane not even so much.
Yeah.
Kane has a choke. The only time he ever does it is when the wrestler, his opponent, breaks out of it. Like he gets him up, they move their legs, and they slip out from behind. The only time he hits it is when Undertaker's there with him.
Yeah.
No,
you're right.
Then again, this past week, for the first time in a long time, we saw a pile driver.
And Vince McMahon gets upset.
The crowd popped for a pile driver.
I know.
And Vince is upset backstage.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Probably threw a garbage can or something.
Yeah, right. I'll never forget this.
Wow. Breaking news.
Let's hear it.
Chiefs to acquire Alex Smith.
Really? Darn it. I was hoping the Jets would go after him.
Just got it on my phone now. I'm hoping it's true and nothing false.
That is something else.
Chiefs will trade second round pick this year, the top second pick and the second round as well, and another conditional mid round pick in 2014.
I gotta wonder.
Great pick for Kansas City.
It is.
Great pickup.
This brings
for
me back
Kansas
to
City.
one earlier. You told me something in a show where you believed that Kansas City had potential if they can get a good quarterback, and they just might.
Who's the man?
And they just might have gotten.
Who's the man?
They just might have gotten him. So we'll wait for that to be confirmed. Hopefully it is. It's pretty good. I want to see where this goes.
I mean, like I said, they have an all-around great defense. Now you just have to put the offense together.
Yeah.
Like I said, I watch all the games pretty much. And my dad's a Kansas City fan. I'm a Buffalo fan. You're obviously a Jet fan. And it's crazy around my house.
Because
crazy around my house.
It's obvious because of my depression after watching every one of their games.
Check this household. You have a Buffalo fan. You have a Jet fan. A Miami Dolphin fan. And you have a Kansas City Jet fan. And a Giant fan.
I don't know how you guys are still living. One of you should have died by now.
It's World War III when it comes to NFL in this house. So, but I do watch every single game because I do have the NFL package.
Right.
And I watch Kansas City. Matt Castle's horrendous.
Yeah.
He's a horror show. So.
And I called it years ago. I told him the only reason Matt Castle's doing so well with the Pats is because he has the talent that Brady's working with. That's why.
Yeah, this is just breaking now. Alex Smith will be traded from the 49ers to the Kansas City Chiefs.
All right, so it's confirmed then.
The deal can't be official until March 12th.
I see. All right.
So, hopefully nothing happens.
Yeah, no drug tests, physicals, things like that. So.
It's a great pickup for Kansas City. It makes them a contender now.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see those Chiefs games.
It will. Like I said, they have everything going. Their defense is right. Now just get the offense right. Get that horrendous Matt Castle out of here. But hey, for once, something broke on air. I love it.
Yeah, right.
So that's you want to do one more wrestler, or you want to?
Oh, it's your call.
You want to do one more? We'll do one more. We'll do one more. Tell me when to stop.
Okay, I don't want to go too far behind, so I'll stop when you get to the top 10. Stop. Yokozuna. All right. Well, there's not even much to say about Yokozuna. It's just his size, his mass. And something was pointed out to me earlier in the day, which is very true. And it's something that I didn't appreciate as a kid, which I do now. Yokozuna.
Sorry.
Typo.
Yeah,
there's one thing that I've noticed about him now, as an adult, as opposed to when I was a kid, was he moved incredibly well for a guy his size. When I was a kid, all I saw was a giant guy who I couldn't stand because he had a friend who kept throwing something in, somebody's face.
Salt.
Mr. Fuji throwing salt in somebody's face. Now that I watch his matches again, Yokozuna isn't like Mark Henry, who lumbers around the ring and depends on his strength. Yokozuna was able to move a lot, considering his size. And I remember the first time I noticed this was when I went back and watched his casket match with The Undertaker.
It's good.
Again, Yokozuna, for a big guy, for a super heavyweight, as he's described, moved phenomenally well. Obviously, he wasn't running around the entire match. He wasn't doing moonsaults or anything, but he did move around the ring awesomely. I'm like repeating what I'm saying over and over, and I apologize for that.
Yeah.
But I can't stress that enough.
He had feuds. He had good feuds as well.
Yeah,
Lex Luger.
Some of the feuds that I remember the most are the first one, WrestleMania 9 with Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yep. Undertaker.
The match, that was one match where he was the dominator in that.
Yeah.
Most of the time he dominated his matches. One of them that he didn't dominate was the one against The Undertaker.
Yep.
Because the storyline with that was that he genuinely was afraid of The Undertaker.
Yes.
Okay.
Those promos going into the match were amazing.
Right. So before that, most of the time he did dominate his opponents. And that's when, he did, I don't want to say lumber around the ring, but he did walk, but whenever he needed to run or bust out a move, he did it.
He did.
Beat Bret Hart.
Impressive big man for what he can do in the ring.
Yeah, beat Bret Hart at WrestleMania 9 due to Mr. Fuji's interference.
But then lost to Hulk Hogan.
And then lost to Hulk Hogan. Amazing. Loved it.
Yep.
But then, he also main evented the next WrestleMania.
Yep.
Okay?
WrestleMania 10.
If you want to even go the extra mile, twice main evented one WrestleMania because he did have 2 title matches that night.
Yes, he did. One against Lex and once against
Yeah.
Bret Hart.
Because of the
So Bret Hart
Royal
actually
Rumble.
wrestled twice on that pay-per-view.
Yeah, he did. First one with Owen Hart. I guess to make it fair, they both had the first match because I guess storyline-wise, what would have happened was, had Lex Luger beat Yokozuna, his next match would be against Bret Hart. So that's how they wanted to keep it fair. Very interesting, by the way. I do wonder if something like that could take place now, but probably not. So he defeated Lex Luger in the first match.
Yep.
Obviously,
by disqualification.
And it's funny because was Lex Luger the one who body slammed?
Yes, he did.
Yokozuna on the USS
Yes, he
Intrepid?
did.
Okay.
Yep. And that's when the Lex Express happened.
The Lex Express, yeah. They were trying to build Lex up to be basically the next Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
Which reminds me, actually, Yokozuna defeating Hulk Hogan at a big pay-per-view.
Yes, King of the Ring.
King of the Ring. I remember watching that pay-per-view as a kid. And I was devastated. Oh, man. Just, my hero lost to this fat blob. But again, that's a phenomenal build-up.
Did you call him a fat blob?
Well, I was a kid. This is me being a kid.
Fat blob. You're horrible.
But I mean, a phenomenal build-up because that really gave, despite the fact that he didn't win cleanly, Yokozuna was still built up to be a near unbeatable champ.
Yes.
All right, because he now has that win over Hulk Hogan. All right, he had the win against Lex Luger, and would have won against Bret Hart, but I guess he fell off the ropes. Bret Hart capitalized.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I'm not sure if you ever won the title again. I almost want to say no.
There we go. King of the Ring 93. Sorry.
93, okay.
It was 93. My mistake. Because I was thinking 94, but I think, what was it, 94? Give me a second.
But like you said, that weight benefited him for the most part.
Yes.
But then, of course, as you age, it works against you.
Oh, that's right. Owen Hart won the King of the Ring that year.
Right. Obviously, it works against you when you get older. I do believe, did he reach 700 pounds?
He got bigger.
He got bigger, right?
Yes, he got bigger.
He got bigger.
Because he came back in 1996, and Owen Hart was tag team champion with him.
Yeah.
So, and he got a little pudgier, a little bigger.
Yeah, and they pointed it out.
They pointed it out, and yes, he was between 525 pounds and 700 pounds. So,
but
he did capitalize. There's one thing he did. He was WWF champion.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that helps.
It always helps your legacy. Absolutely.
And he had a great legacy.
It's funny how he was actually Samoan and he was the gimmick was Japanese. But he pulled it off fine.
WWF champion, 2-time champion.
I can't remember who he sumo wrestled though. I do remember he sumo wrestled someone at some point.
Maybe it's a good possibility.
Oh man, who was it? If you guys remember, leave a comment. I just can't remember who it is right now. But one thing I do also want to point out was the injury that he suffered against Vader. Vader injured him.
That I did not know.
Yeah, snapped his leg actually.
Wow.
And they needed a forklift to get Yokozuna to the back.
Wow.
A forklift.
Wow. Don't want to freaking
laugh.
Try not to laugh.
You can't put 700 pounds on a stretcher. That's for damn sure. And
a real forklift had to be brought to carry Yokozuna out in addition of Raw. It was the only way to move a man of Yokozuna's size.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know,
wow.
And I wonder if that clip is still on YouTube because that's where I saw it.
Now do they actually show the forklift?
Yeah, they do.
Oh my god, I have to see this when we get off air.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, he was WWF champion 2 times. He was a WWF Tag Team Champion 2 times with Owen Hart. Mm-hmm. He won the Royal Rumble, so that puts you on the map right away.
Yeah.
And he's in the Hall of Fame, so you know what? Good legacy and great career.
Right, I know what you mean.
So, and I think that's good. It's a good way to end with Yokozuna, I think. And we'll do more during the week. Tomorrow we'll have Carlos here with baseball. We'll talk more in depth about the Mets, and you, my friend, get to talk about the Yankees all by your lonesome.
Yeah, I will. I'm sure he'll have a few things to throw out there too. So,
but obviously NFL news. Alex Smith is now a Chief. March 12th is the that'll be confirmed, and that'll wrap for today's show. So I'm John.
This is Ant.
See you guys tomorrow.